Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. This will be our special holiday show, our last show of the season, and we've got a great show lined up for you. Bethany Paulson, who is with Tipitina's Foundation, is going to join us, and she's going to be talking about musical instruments and donations to various schools, and such a great program that they're doing. Richard Goodman is a UNO professor. He's got some information that he's going to be sharing with us that I know you'll find very enjoyable about students and creative writing. Lesley Forenski. Lesley is with the Cottage Catering Bakery, and they have a wonderful program coming up on January the 4th in celebration of King Cakes, and it's just going to be an incredible organization that they're working with, and I think you'll really want to hear some of the things that they're going to be doing. And finally, Miss Jane Molony. Jane is with the Friends of the Cabildo. It's got some great New Orleans history to share with us and just some fun facts that I know you'll find interesting. Again, it's our last show of the season. We thank you so much for being a part of Across Louisiana, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. We're so happy you joined us today. Our first guest, Bethany Paulson, who is the Managing Director of the Tipitina's Foundation. Bethany, thank you so much for being with us today. We're talking a little bit before the segment, just some incredible stuff that you guys are doing. The first time that you've been on this show, so let's do this. Let's talk about the mission of the Tipitina's Foundation, a little background about the foundation, what you do, some of the successes you've had, and so forth.
Sure. Tipitina's Foundation is dedicated to protecting and preserving Louisiana music, and we do that through 4 primary programs. We have an adult program that's a network of music office co-op we have offices located in 7 cities across the state, and then we also have 3 youth programs. Our Instruments A-Comin' program, which puts instruments into area school band programs. We have Sunday youth music workshops, which give students who want the opportunity to play the chance to come and play on stage. In New Orleans, they do it at Tipitina's, and so they get to play on these professional stages with professional musicians, and they get to learn to jam and take the things that they're learning in their school lessons and maybe private lessons and put it together and see how that works with a band. And then we also have the Tipitina's internship program, which is for students who want to become professional musicians or want to pursue careers in the music industry. So we have Donald Harrison Jr. is our artistic director there, and he works with the students in a very close mentor relationship to teach them what they need to know to go out and become successful musicians.
Now, is this something that, say, schools would apply for? I mean, how do they get the instruments and get associated with the foundation? With
our Instruments A-Comin' program, we do take applications from area schools, not just Orleans Parish, but parishes across the region and now across the state. And we've expanded this program to Shreveport, Alexandria, Lake Charles, and then we'll go into other cities early next year. So we ask band directors to submit an application to our office, and then we work to find out what schools already have programs in place and have successful band directors, so that we're giving them not just instruments to start a band, but resources that they need so that they can really teach these students music.
Well, your website is tipitinasfoundation.org. I'm assuming all the information that you need to know is on the website about, and that makes me think, do you accept donations if someone has musical instruments that they're no longer using or the like? I mean, they can donate it to the foundation?
We do. Right now we take instrument donations, and that's actually one of the really exciting projects we have coming up in the new year, that we now have an instrument repair facility in our building. So we'll be asking people to send their used instruments to this facility so that we can clean them, refurbish them, and get them out into schools. So those instruments right now can be brought by our office, or if you give us a call, we can tell you how to.
And all that can be found, your office location is on the website?
Yes, on our website, and you can call our office and we can tell you how to get those instruments to us. And by donating them, we'll be able to get more of them into the hands of students.
With this show we do also in Baton Rouge and in Lafayette. I'd love to be able to have you come on the program in Baton Rouge and in Lafayette and talk about the program. And as you branch out across the state, we'd love to help you get the word out. We'd love to have you come back. I believe you've got a big program coming up in April, and we'd love to have you come back and talk about that program. Best of luck, best of success. Thank you so much, because I can't imagine the looks on these children's faces when they have the instruments and everything. It's got to be outstanding.
It really is the most exciting part of my job, is to see them get those instruments.
Bethany, thank you so much for being here today. Happy holidays to you, and thanks again. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have Mr. Robert Goodman from UNO on the show. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. We appreciate you joining us this morning. Very happy to have Mr. Richard Goodman, professor at UNO. And Richard, we were talking before the segment started about Storyville, and I find that fascinating what you guys are doing. So if you will, just talk about Storyville and kind of the conversation we were having, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. Storyville is a collaboration between graduate students at University of New Orleans in the Creative Writing Workshop and WWNO Radio. The idea first came to me in March, and I went over and talked to Paul Masson, the general manager. He was excited about it, and so we put it all together. And basically what it is that the graduate students each write an original piece about New Orleans. Not too long, maybe about 5 minutes. And then we record those, and they're played on the air on the All Things New Orleans program, which is Thursdays, 1:30 to 2 and 6:30 to 7. But we also have a web page on the WWNO site in which everything is archived. So you can read the scripts, you can read the actual scripts, you can listen to the pieces, and read the bio of the students, and the students' pictures are up there.
Yeah.
And so far, we've had an incredible variety of stories. The first one was actually about the original Storyville, which we thought was a great way to kick it off.
And once again, these are written by graduate students,
These are written by graduate students, yes. And we have a great producer over there who's helped us a lot. And she's put these recordings together with music and, in some cases, audio sections. For instance, one of the pieces is about a guy who leaves New Orleans and comes back. This is Katrina's story, but he sort of likens his journey to It's a Wonderful Life, the movie. So we start that piece with a section from that. It's really cool.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
And then there's a story about a murder, and there's a story about Lundi Gras, which is down Bayou St. John. It's all on the water. And, you know, it's just incredible variety of stories that can come out the topic about New Orleans. And the students are terrific writers. And, you know, I think this is a great way for them to be known, to
Absolutely.
get,
Oh, absolutely.
they're, you know, they don't have necessarily the resources that they should have in some cases, and this is a wonderful opportunity. And WWNO is really happy.
It's great that they do that. And I mean, this is something, I mean, you know, when I was in college, the big thing for me was internships at TV stations and stuff. I mean, this is stuff that goes on resumes and all sorts of things
That's
like
absolutely right. And when they are prose writers. So when they come to writing radio, it's a whole new thing for them because radio has different, you know, it's a medium for the ear.
Right.
And so the sentences have to be shorter. You can't start them with sort of dangling lyrical phrases. And when they learn that and they go into the studio, they have a blast. They just their eyes light up because they're doing something completely new. It's so interesting to them.
Well, and as a professor, I'm sure this is exciting for you to see the students when they do things like this. It's got to be outstanding.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic to give each of these different voices, you know, their day. And I mean, the talent's unlimited. I'm just student by student trying.
Have some of your students gone on and written for radio shows and things like that? Or?
Not yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. The first student who did a piece about Storyville, she's an actress. She's a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
And WWNO was like blown away by her, and I can see her doing something like that.
Well, Richard, we're about to run out of time here. I greatly appreciate you taking time to come on the show. Please come back in the future. Maybe we could have one of the kids come on or something like that.
That'd be great.
We'd love to have you come back on and talk about more successes. And thank you as a professor for what you do, the excitement. I can see sitting right here that you get excited just talking about this stuff. So thank you for all the work that you do for our kids and everything. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Thanks so much. Stay with us. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Just such a great show we've got today. And this program is all about organizations that give back to the community. And what a great example we've got right now. Lesley Forenski is with us, and she is with Cottage Catering Bakery. And I believe you're the catering manager, correct?
Yes, I am.
Well, we were talking before the segment about this king cake event that you guys are doing. And I think, first of all, Cottage Catering Bakery, where are you located at?
We're in Harahan. We're at 1536 River Oaks West, not far from here. So we're very central for everybody. Has no excuse not to come.
Is it just
out to this.
catering, or are you?
We do catering. We do business catering, residential, weddings, parties. Very busy with Christmas parties.
But,
right now.
but you're also a restaurant that you can come in, or
No,
just
we don't have
catering
any
only?
order only.
Order only,
Lots of
okay.
people come knock on our door, but we have
Okay.
to
Well, I
turn
wanted
them
to get that, made sure we get that point made, because I think it's great what your organization or your company is doing with your King Cake Festival. So let's spend time talking about the festival and how people can get involved in that, because again, just a wonderful organization that you're benefiting here.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. We think it's the very first King Cake Festival.
And let's talk about what symbolizes king cake, because I think that's pretty interesting too.
King cake, we actually are going to have traditional king cakes, and we're going to have some French king cakes, and people associate king cake with just the cinnamon bread. We are trying to go all out. We have crawfish king cake, maple bacon pecan king cake, Oreo cream king cake, cherry almond king cake, chocolate chip cookie dough king cake. So we are just going to go all out with all these crazy
Crawfish
flavors.
king cake.
Crawfish king cake.
Wow.
It's delicious. It's delicious.
Listen, I've lived here for 24 years. There's nothing that's not delicious in this town, so I wouldn't doubt it. And to be a part of this, talk about the organizations that you're benefiting and how this is going to work.
Well, what we're going to do is King's Day is really the beginning of king cake season. People get excited around Mardi Gras and they race out and buy their king cake, but King's Day is the beginning of the season. So we're launching it. It's on a Monday, but we're going to go with a Saturday, which is the 4th of January. So everyone has to put their New Year's resolutions on hold. And what we're going to do is we're going to bake $25,000 worth of king cake. And you buy a king cake. And on site, we're going to have Team Gleason, which is very popular right now, very personal to myself. I had a family member with Lou Gehrig's disease. Animal Rescue New Orleans, which is a no-kill local shelter, and the Fallen Firefighters Foundation.
Okay.
And when you buy your king cake, you get a receipt, and you take your receipt and you give it to one of the 3 charities that will be on site in our parking lot. At the end of the day, the 3 charities will add up all their receipts, and we will write them a check for that amount. So we're giving away $25,000.
So you'll write each charity their own individual check,
Yes.
regardless of who got the most or whatever.
Yes. So of course, the more people that support each of those charities that come out. But it's not just for the charities. We have some fun things. We have some braiding competitions with shipping ropes, just like we braid a king cake. We have 20-foot long shipping ropes that you have to braid as fast as you can. The winner will get a $250 gift certificate to the catering company.
Okay.
We have Guess the Babies in the Jar, which is really for the children. The winner will win a midnight tour of the factory, so they can come at midnight, work on the production line, make their own cake, ice it, bake it, and take it home, which is really fun for children. We have horseshoes with beads. We have king cake vodka sampling. We have king cake coffee. And of course, all the flavors will be available for tasting that day.
That is, so you're really doing more than just coming and buying a king cake.
We're trying to make it a
You're going to make it
festival.
a fun event. And is this the first time ever?
This is the first one, and we're actually hoping this year, if it's a success, which of course everybody needs to come buy the king cake, we want to up it to $50,000 next year, and we want to make it an annual event for 3 different charities every year.
Well, I think the key thing that you said is that it depends on the public
Yes.
to come by and buy the king cake, because every penny raised is going to go to these 3 foundations. And before we run out of time, the address for Cottage Catering Bakery is?
1536 River Oaks West in Harahan.
And the event will begin on
It's
Saturday?
January the 4th, Saturday at 9 a.m.
Lesley, we'd love to have you come back and talk about the success of the program and other things that are going on in the future. Thank you so much for being here, and most importantly, thank you so much for supporting all 3 just wonderful organizations, and I know they appreciate what you're doing as well.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. And welcome back to Across Louisiana, our last guest. And we always save the best for last. Jane Molony is with Friends of the Cabildo, and we were just having a wonderful conversation about the Cabildo. Now, tell our audience real quick what you were telling me about the Spanish and the French, because I thought New Orleans was always French.
There are actually little signs on some of the streets in the French Quarter that say this was the Calais to something when we were Spanish. So there are Spanish signs on the walls around the French Quarter.
And then we were Spanish, went to the French.
And we were 3 countries within a month with not a shot being fired.
Really?
We belonged to Spain. We were given back to France, and 30 days later we were sold to the Americans. And we didn't like that much.
No wonder we're a gumbo, a little bit of everything. So let's talk about the mission of the organization.
The Friends of the Cabildo are volunteers who do whatever the museum says we need to do this. We are volunteers. We do run a tour guide training class. We train tour guides, not just docents for the museum, but streetwalkers who do tours of the French Quarter. And that means we have to be accurate historically because we're part of Louisiana State Museum. And so we have, our training is mainly professors from the different universities talking about their particular dot in the history of Louisiana. One day is French, one day is Spanish, one day is jazz, one day is, a little bit of everything for 12 days of training.
So you can actually, if you want to be trained as a guide, so to speak, your organization does all of that.
We do train tour guides. We have a little caveat when we train our guides. To begin with, you have to pay your fee. You have to be a member, and then you have to promise to give us 2 tours a month for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's only 1 tour a month, depending on the schedule, how many guides are around. But we give tours of the French Quarter every day except Monday. And they start down in Jackson Square, right off of Jackson Square. In fact, Jackson's horse's tail is pointing right to the gate that you go through to get to our office.
Really?
Yes, so you can find us easily.
Easy way to find it?
Yes, very easy.
Jane, let's talk about Creole Christmas. I know
But that's one of our fun
up.
things. Some of our fundraisers are really fun, like Ghostly Gallivant, which was back in ghostly time of October. Creole Christmas got started by some publicity group that wanted to encourage people to come to New Orleans for Christmas. So they called somebody in our museum who called the guides and said, how about let's do a tour of all the houses decorated a la 1850.
Oh.
Well, it's not the sparkly kind of Christmas we're used to. Mostly greens, and the Christmas tree, wait till you hear about the Christmas tree. It was always a small evergreen brought in from the backyard on which you hang little garments. You put it on a table in the middle of the room because you were going to light candles on it. And under the table you have a bucket of water so that the old aunt can sit there and put the fires out as they light up.
Oh my gosh, that's
It's a lot of fun, a lot of fun. But we do go to several historic houses, which are always open to the public, but this is a special run, and they're decorated for Creole Christmas. And then the last stop is the Spring Fiesta House, where we have the story of why we do Creole Christmas and where we got our information, which was in 1850, this city was roaring. And the newspapers, one of the same newspapers was the Picayune. One of the same stores. Well, if you've only been here 24 years, you don't even know that D.H. Holmes was D.H. Holmes. That store was a store then. So all of the stores would advertise, come see our windows for Christmas to pick out your New Year's present.
Oh, wow.
Children didn't have Christmas presents. Christmas was a holy day.
Yeah.
You went to midnight mass.
Yeah.
And after that, you went to a réveillon, which is a wake-up breakfast.
Right.
Réveillon, you've heard of réveillon.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And in that same brochure advertising New Orleans for Christmas, they spoke about réveillon dinners and all the not the hotels necessarily, but all the restaurants in the French Quarter.
Jane, they're giving me the cue that I've got to wrap this up. Well, listen, I could sit
Well,
here.
I'll tell you, but anyway,
and listen.
they do make réveillon dinners.
Well, because of this, we have to have you come back. Please, please, please come back.
glad to
Share
come
more
back.
stories with us. Your website is friendsofthecabildo.org. All the
That's it.
information can be found on that. Jane,
Right there.
thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking time to come and speak with us. We'd love to have you back on the show and share more information. You've been watching Across Louisiana. Happy holidays to everyone out there, and may you and your families just have the best of a holiday season and the happiest of a new year. From all of us at Cox, we appreciate you watching the show, and we appreciate you being a Cox customer. Thank you so much.